Ha guys, let's get more news about Warriors, but first don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. Steph Curry was furious after fans stole his gift to young kids. Steph Curry usually reserves his fire for the Golden State Warriors battles on the court, but on Saturday the two-time MVP got heated for a different reason. Curry had a bounce-back performance in a 113-103 win over the Minnesota Timberwolves at Target Center in Minneapolis, Minnesota. After the game, Curry gave a young fan an early Christmas present. The 10-time All-Star threw a kid one of his game-worn shoes. At least he tried to. An older man ended up catching the shoe and appeared keen on keeping it for himself. It took Curry getting mad and yelling before the fan gave the shoe up to its intended recipient. The Warrior star probably still had some adrenaline flowing after lighting up the T-Wolves. Just moments earlier, Curry finished with a game-high 31 points on October 21, shooting with 10 assists and 7 three-pointers. It was a strong performance. Following Curry's massive stinker in his previous contest in the blowout loss to the Grizzlies, the Warriors guard finished with just 2 points on a gas 0-7 shooting clip. Curry uncharacteristically missed all 6 of his three-point attempts in Golden State's brutal 144-93 defeat. Curry was cleared locked in on Saturday in more ways than one. It was a brutal loss for the Golden State Warriors as they fell to the Memphis Grizzlies by 51 points, 144-93, as it was a historic night negatively, where both Stephen Curry and Draymond Green combined to make 0 shots from the field, as it was undoubtedly a stunning blowout for the Warriors. Curry and Green gave their first reactions to their goose eggs and how their season is going so far. Curry and Green not making a shot was the first time for them, which encapsulated what was a dreadful game for Golden State, as they lost their third straight game and now have been defeated 9 out of their last 11 contests. Green specifically did not make any of his 4 attempts and wouldn't fill the stat sheet elsewhere except for 1 steal, as he gave credit to Memphis defense according to ESPN. Damn, that happened, Green said. OS, that's crazy. They did a good job, give them some credit. Looking at the superstar in Curry, he would have an uncharacteristic night, not making any of his 7 shot attempts, 6 of them being from deep. He would finish with 2 points on 2 made free throws along with 3 rebounds and 1 assist. As he never thought he would hear a statistic like that in his career. First time for everything right, Curry said. I never thought that would be a situation or a result of the game. From the very jump they kind of punched us in the mouth. We didn't have an answer. That was kind of embarrassing. Golden State struggled from the very beginning, trailing 13-2 to start, which ballooned to a 31-0 deficit later in the game and dally up to a whopping 46 points when the starters came out of the game. Warriors Brandon Podziemski clarifies Steph Curry take after Steve Kerr's message as the Golden State Warriors looked to turn around their season. There was a confusing event that happened involving young star Brandon Podziemski. He would answer a question about a comment made by Warriors head coach Steve Kerr about him playing alongside Stephen Curry, responding that he doesn't think. I don't really think, I just play. Podziemski told reporters, when I'm out there and I'm open I shoot it, if not I make a play. I don't really look too much into I know we have Steph Curry on the court and if he's open I'm going throw the ball to him. I don't really look too deep into those messages. People thought it was a dismissing answer about Curry and Kerr, as Podziemski took to social media to clarify his comments and also say that Curry is a legend and a GOAT, meaning greatest of all time, as he used an emoji of the animal to clarify. And for further context, Podziemski said, Steph is Steph and I've been very open with my respect for him on and off the court. He's a legend and a GOAT for a reason. On the court you have to be cautious against overthinking every possession. You have to trust your work, do what the coaches want you to do and make a good IU play at times that surpass taking shot or even making a good screen to free up a teammate. So you just play and work to make good decisions consistently. A lot of times that will end up being passing the ball to a wide open staff and or teammate when the opportunity is there, and just doing whatever it takes to help the team win. It started when there was a lot of ball movement in their Warriors Warriors went over the Minnesota Timberwolves, where KR spoke about what he wanted to see from the younger players and playing alongside Curry. According to NBC Sports, that's what we're trying to impart on our young players, K said to reporters. We have Steph Curry on our team, so pass the ball, move the ball, and if Steph gets off it early because he's gained an advantage, now the defense is scrambling. This is how we've played for 10 years, and it's important for our young players to understand we don't It contested 17-footers with 12 seconds on the shot clock. That's a bad shot. I talked to our guys about that during several timeouts. It's something we have to recognize and get better with. When you have Steph Curry on your team, you pass the ball, Kirk continued, because if you pass it 2 or 3 times the defense is scrambling, all hell breaks loose. So it's a choice. We can either do that and win games, or we can shoot a whole bunch of 15-foot contested shots in the middle of the shot clock and be a lousy NBA team. At any rate, the Warriors started off hot but had a rough stretch recently, stockpiling a ton of losses. Though fans were relieved to see the win over Minnesota, they next face the Indiana Pacers on Monday. Miami Heat. Golden State Warriors named favorites for Jimmy Butler trade. The Golden State Warriors have been named as the favorites to trade for Jimmy Butler with the Miami Heat. Jimmy Butler's name has been doing the rounds of the trade rumor mill for quite some time now. His future with the Miami Heat and understandably so. It was widely reported in the summer that Butler wanted a max contract extension, but the Heat did not hand him one, as they wanted him to prove his fitness on the court before making a long-term commitment on a 35-year-old with a history of injuries. Butler has had a stop-start season so far. He is a match winner on his day but continues to deal with fitness issues and has already spent a few spells out on the sidelines. On the other hand, it has also been suggested by some that he is planning to turn down his player option to become a free agent next summer. Naturally, the Heat might be considering the possibility of trading Butler, and it looks like one team is emerging as the favorite in the race. According to Brett Siegel of Clutch Points, the Golden State Warriors should absolutely be labeled as the favorites to trade for Butler. However, that doesn't necessarily mean he will 100% be heading to the Bay Area before the season's trade deadline. Of course, it is quite clear that their Warriors need to strengthen. Then if they are to put up a genuine championship challenge while Steph Curry is still the face of the franchise. The Warriors had actually made a brilliant start to the season and were sitting atop the West at one point, but their form has drastically declined in recent weeks and they look like a playing team at best right now. All things considered, it feels like the Warriors need some star power alongside Curry and Draymond Green. A proven playoff performer like Butler might bring that to the table for them, but at the same time it would be the ultimate win now move from the Warriors, who might need to part with 3 or 4 players just to accommodate a contract of that size on their roster. And fan, what do you think of the situation of Jimmy Butler? Leave your opinion in the comments.